Have you ever found yourself negotiating with your own dreams, actually watering them down, telling yourself all of the reasons why you should actually make them realistic? Your goals same. It's that moment when, like, deep down, you really want more, but your habits aren't reflecting that desire. Or when your vision is clear and yet you find yourself, you just keep selling yourself short and you keep asking yourself why. You keep talking to the Lord, bringing it to the Lord in prayer, and you keep asking yourself, why? Why am I this way? But sis, what if the breakthrough that you're looking for actually doesn't come from doing more? What if it actually stems from you finally owning what you want? What if the breakthrough that you have been praying for actually begins when you stop selling and actually start selecting like a buyer? Like someone who already believes that she is called, equipped, and backed by heaven. In this video, I am sharing how one idea from the book 10x is easier than 2x has literally shifted my little paradigm, okay? And it has truly changed the way I see desire, consistency, as well as calling. If you're ready to stop downplaying your vision and actually begin to move like someone who is already backed by heaven, this video is for you. Over the weekend while on my walk, I was listening to 10x is easier than 2x. And in chapter 3, Dan Sullivan said something that quite literally, honey, I had to pause, I had to stop what I was doing and actually backtrack. And it was a simple phrase: want what you want. As the chapter ensued, I found myself, my thoughts just in a scurry of everything, because as he was speaking, Holy Spirit was speaking to me. I began to get these little nudges and these just nuggets, okay? These nuggets from heaven. And today I want to share them with you. Now, here is the thing. Initially, when I heard want what you want, I almost brushed past it, right? Because if I'm honest, it sounded a little too elementary, if I'm honest. But the more I kept walking, the more I really began to realize something. And it's the fact that I'd been negotiating with my own desires. Like, I realized that the Lord would begin to share different things with me that He wanted me to do, wanted me to build, and the vision would feel so big that honestly, I would immediately go into all of the ways in which it was just too big. Right? I would immediately start downplaying it. I would immediately move into, okay, thinking, okay, that's too big. Is it too soon? Should I be doing like that? Maybe I should wait until I have, a bajillion followers and then I can XYZ. And really, this book, Holy Spirit allowed this moment to literally chin check me, okay? In the book, he talks about being a buyer versus a seller, and I'll get into that just a little bit. But I realized that I was truly acting like a seller, constantly pitching myself on why it was okay for me to play small, or even consistently putting myself in a space of having to feeling like I needed to earn my way into what honestly I'm already called to do. So this idea has truly this chapter 3, okay? I have literally been stuck in chapter 3, and chapter 3 has wrecked me in the best possible way. It has allowed me to realize that wanting more is not the problem. My actual problem is actually wanting it out loud. Let's get into what it means to be a buyer versus a seller. This is something that I broke down in issue 1 of Devoted, which is my not so basic newsletter, okay? Make sure you check the description to sign up. But in the newsletter, I disclose that in chapter 3, the thing that he talks about is how everyone should be a buyer, that you shouldn't be a seller. And in being a buyer, you have to think about how a buyer moves. When you are on the hunt for a particular item, you know the store that you need to go to, and your vision is clear. You are direct. You don't need anyone else to try to buy you into something else. Nope, because you are decided. Because you are decided, you move with the level of precision, you move with greater clarity versus being a seller. Essentially, you put yourself at the whim of the world around you. So, if you are, whether you're a wife, a mom, a business owner, whatever it is, you will find yourself moving out of desperation. You make moves seeking permission, whereas being a buyer, because you are crystal clear of your purpose and your mission, guess what? Nothing and no one can get in your way. This is a woman who's decided, which means you're not overthinking, which also means you're not over validating every move, which also means you're actually not moving and launching things from a place of scarcity. You're not creating from fear of being overlooked. You're literally moving in faith from the notion and from the realization truly that you have already been appointed, because you have been. Being the buyer means that you stop asking, can I really do this? And you start declaring, guess what? I know what I'm doing, and I know that I was appointed and anointed to do this thing. And guess what? You do it uninhibited, unrestricted. So if you are a woman who is building her home and building her community, you're not looking outside of you to validate that you should be leading in your home a specific way. If you are a woman who is building a business, you are not creating products and services based on simply what you think people will say yes to. You are building based on how the Lord is leading you and calling you to build. Being a woman of God who is called to be a buyer, this means that you're no longer showing up in your life as if you're applying for a position. No, ma'am, you're not applying for a position. Why? Because you're already seated in heavenly places. And guess what? As a woman of God who owns her authority, as a woman of God who owns all it is that she is to do, guess what? You begin to move like the woman who already holds it. And this is what I'm realizing truly changes everything. And what I love most about this is that while the world is screaming, do more, be louder, truly, when you are a woman of God who chooses to buy into being a buyer, guess what? Being a buyer automatically means that you're moving into soft success. It automatically means that you're moving to devotion, that you're getting away from all of the distractions, and you are clear. You are clear about your mission, your purpose, and you move with a greater level of certainty. As you can see, this one chapter has quickly escalated into something that honestly low-key life-changing, okay? And the reason why I say it's low-key life-changing is honestly because I've been able to realize all of the ways that I was showing up not from a place of devotion, not from a place of a woman who is certain, not from a place of really from acting as if I was literally playing patty cake with my own purpose, okay? And honestly, it revealed to me how I was moving from a place of desperation. Desperate to be consistent so I could feel worthy, desperate to be on so that I would always be top of mind and no one would forget me, even desperate to hit all of my goals so that I could finally feel like I was enough. And over these past few months, God has actually been calling me to build completely differently, not from a space of hustle. He has truly been asking me not even to build from a space of fear or even polished perfection, okay? He's really been asking me to build from devotion, to lead my life from devotion. From my time of just being with the Lord, being in my word, Proverbs 4 verses 25 and 26 have been highlighted. And they say, set your gaze on the path before you with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead. Watch where you're going. Stick to the path of truth, and the road will be safe and smooth before you. Sis, that's exactly what this season is all about. It's that fixed kind of purpose. It's honestly being in a space where you're no longer waiting to be chosen, but you're truly moving with the energy of someone who's like, like that buyer who's, I know what I already came for. In a time where we talk about glow ups and productivity from a space of discipline, the thing that the Lord has really began to reveal to me is really how our discipline in the kingdom, discipline is actually identity led discipline, simply because when you are disciplined according to your identity, who you are in the mind of God, you automatically stop moving from a space of franticness. You begin to move not forcing things. Again, I'm bringing up Matthew 11. You start moving in the unforced rhythms of grace because you have decided to lay your goals, yourself, your ambitions before the Father and give them back to Him. And as you delight yourself in the Lord, He then gives you the desires of your heart. He then gives you that vision. And when you move from a space of identity led discipline, you're not moving from a space that's rooted in guilt. No, ma'am. You are moving from a space that is truly anchored in truth, anchored in clarity, and anchored in agreement with heaven. In my last sit down video, you will realize that this is actually why I created the Devoted 90 for myself. It wasn't because I needed yet another to do list. No, I have plenty on my plate, right? The truth is that I really needed a rhythm reset. I needed a life reset. I needed to lean into, for real, Matthew 11, unforced rhythms of grace. The truth is that I've been moving as if I needed habits in order to become her. But the reality is that what I really needed were rhythms that agree with heaven and that align with the fact that I already am. And this is what I now call identity-led discipline, devoted discipline. It's not loud, it's not rigid, it doesn't need pressure, it doesn't need proving. But what it is, it's soft, it's steady. It also reflects the woman that God is calling me to be. And truly, it is really being that for real Proverbs 31 woman, not the aesthetic, but her authority. The reality is that she didn't rush to arrive. It's actually quite the opposite. She actually moved in accordance with the rhythms of grace, and also she had the support around her to undergird her work. Powerhouse, this is truly a moment in which I would like for us to take a pause, because maybe you're watching this video and you're like, wait a minute. I have been showing up, but I've only been showing up halfway. Or I have been committing, but I've also been creating caveats. Or maybe you have been dreaming just a little bit, but quietly and cautiously, you've actually been seeking permission and validation. But if there is anything that God has been teaching me, it's this, is that you cannot pray for clarity all the while still move like you're confused. It doesn't work like that. You can't say you're still ready, but you tiptoe about your assignment. You can't say that you're ready for your next level, yet you keep playing small. And again, I'm not saying this from judgment. I'm saying this from experience. I'm saying it from experience because guess what? I did it too. I was the one hiding behind productivity because I was afraid of obedience. I was also the one that was shrinking my voice simply because it's too vulnerable to say what you really want to say. Yet here I am, choosing to be a woman about my Father's business, choosing to be a woman who is devoted to the work that He has called me to, whether it is me being a wife in my home or while I'm being a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling my son, or even stewarding the Arise Collective, the business, the coaching business that the Lord has blessed me with, and stewarding my clients. all of it. It all matters. And because it all matters, I should treat it with devotion. So here's the heart check I had to walk through, and maybe it's yours too. Where have I been playing small, spiritually, strategically, or personally? Where have I been asking God for more, but not showing up like I already have His yes? What would shift if I moved like I believed I was already equipped? And if just listening to the questions really kind of gave you just a little bit of a pang of discomfort, please know that it is not to shame you. Truly, God is in the midst of awakening you. He is trying to awaken you to the fact that, yes, He in fact does have more for you, yet you have to agree with Him. So, in this season, I am wanting what I want, and I am choosing to agree with heaven. I am choosing to lean into soft success and a life of devotion, because what I know is that ultimately life is not just about ticking off boxes like, ugh, truly soft success with the Father and choosing a life of devotion is really about a life that is spiritually, emotionally, and mentally grounded in Him. It is a life that is designed to align yourself with Abba, to align yourself with His mind, your identity according to Him. Also reignite your desire. Also refocus and recalibrate your vision so that you can respond in faith. Because let's be honest, it is easy to quote, "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She laughs without fear of the future." It's easy to quote it when you're feeling good, but what about the moments when you're feeling burnt out? When you have a to-do list as long as Timbuktu, okay? And really you're finding yourself slipping through life. You're finding yourself in a space where you are literally drowning in plain sight. What do you do? What you do is you come back to devotion. You come back to being a woman who is devoted to God, His plans, and His rhythms for your life. So if your spirit knows that it's time for a reset, I would like to invite you into choosing to be ready, choosing to be a woman who really moves through life with devotion, who chooses to be a woman who wants what she wants and decides to be a buyer with the Father, choosing to move through your life with a greater level of clarity, a greater level of confidence, and honestly also spiritual alignment. And also, again, I would like to invite you to sign up for our newsletter so that you can actually receive our first issue of Devoted, where I really break this down. Because the woman that you are becoming, she's not waiting to be chosen. No, ma'am. What she is doing is that she's choosing herself every day with God. Let's go.